Hello and welcome to this edition of Live by Design, a program where I hope you will find content that is informative, inspiring, and insightful. I'm your host, Muadi Dibinga. I'm a life strategist and a motivational speaker, and today is Tuesday, April 9th, 2013. So, how goes it? How are you? How's your weekend? I hope it was fun and exciting. I am coming to you today from our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., where it is a nice toasty 70 degrees. I think it is safe to say that spring has finally arrived, and I couldn't be more thrilled. In the winter, the beginning of the winter, I made a commitment that I was not going to spend the entire season complaining about how cold it was and how much snow there was and just being miserable, because that's usually how I spend my winters, looking forward to the spring. I made a commitment. I said I was going to stay present, and I was not going to complain, and I stuck to that for the most part. I think you probably have to ask my family members if I got involved in any real complaining sessions, but I don't think I did. I think I was pretty good. And I was tested, because that snow in Boston, Hurricane Blizzard, Nemo the Blizzard, whatever they wanted to call it, that almost took me out. And they got a lot of snow in D.C. as well, and I kind of felt at one point that the snow was just following me up and down the East Coast, really testing me to see if I was serious. But enough of that. Spring is here. I'm excited. I'm happy. And I hope that you are as well. Now, today we are continuing our conversation about the meditative thoughts and the affirmations and mantras that appear in my latest CD, Center Your Mind, Center Your Life. What we're doing is we have an 11-part series because there are 11 tracks on the CDs. And it's for the 11 weeks. I think we're on week 3 or 4. We are going to be looking at each of those thoughts and really just unpacking them, breaking them down a little bit, and trying to show you, support you, help you bring that awareness, the awareness that each of those meditative thoughts was meant to sort of awaken within you, to bring that into your everyday life. Today, we are talking about this notion of living full out. We're going to talk about what it means to live full out, what it can invite into your life. We are going to give you some examples of what it means when you're not living full out and how that can impact your life. And we're going to talk about some real practical steps, 3 little things that you can do on a daily basis that will invite more enjoyment, joy, excitement, vibrancy into your everyday experience. Okay, so I'm really excited about that. But before we get there, I have a few short announcements. First, this Friday I will be in Boston to facilitate a half-day strategic planning retreat for the On the Move Coalition. I really like this group. It's a coalition based in Boston that is addressing equity within the transportation industry, within the transportation system in Massachusetts, with a focus on Boston. And I've been working with them. I worked with them a little bit last year. This is the first year I've been really working with them with a little bit more hands-on work. It's a little bit more in-depth, and it's a little bit of a longer relationship. And I'm enjoying it a lot. I get a kick out of working with organizers because they're very passionate about the work, and they're very, very passionate about the issues. And I'm all about living your passion and working your passion and trying to bring passion to every area of your life. So I admire them for their commitment, and I'm looking forward to seeing them this Friday. The week of April 15th, from the 15th through the 19th, I will be in Boston still, working with the Origination Cultural Arts Center. It's our annual Spring Dance Intensive, which we offer every year for young people, where they get training in the areas of ballet. I think we're doing jazz and contemporary, African, and hip-hop. It's a week-long intensive, and it's every day, Monday through Friday, from about 8:30 to 4:30. We still have some slots available. So if you're in Boston and you have a young person who might be interested in dancing, spending their spring break dancing, give us a call. Give them a call at 617-541-1875. That's 617-541-1875. Or you can visit them online at www.originationinc.org. I want to also thank everyone who participated in my workshop, Put the U Back in Youth Reach, on March 28th as part of the Massachusetts Cultural Council's annual conference. I've spoke about it previously. The MCC, which is what they're called for short, brought together representatives for all of their grantees. It's a council in Massachusetts that funds arts organizations, and the purpose of my workshop was to really address this idea that we have sometimes in the social justice arena, that we have to sacrifice all that we are and all that we have in the name of service. I don't believe that's the case. I think that striking appropriate work-life balance in any profession, particularly in the social justice arena, is critically important to your mental health, and it's critically important to our efforts to really promote and bring about this change that we're trying to seek in the world. So it was very exciting. I got a lot of really positive feedback from that, and as a result of that, I am expanding that theme and creating a new workshop called The Healed Activist. I want you to look forward to getting some information about that in the next coming weeks. I'm hoping to pilot that workshop in May, hopefully like May 10th, May 11th. I'll keep you posted. If you want to know where you can find me, I do have some more speaking engagements coming up. You can feel free to visit me online at muadidibingaunlimited.com. You can also find me on Facebook at Live by Design with Muadi. I'm also on Twitter and I'm on LinkedIn. So if you want to know where I am and what I'm doing, hit me up on Facebook, as the young people say, and I will be glad to share any of that information with you. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about this concept of living full out. Okay, don't go too far. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye. Back to Live by Design. I'm your host, Muadi Dibinga, and today we're talking about what it means to live full out. Now, in the dance world, the term full out refers to what a dancer does or she's supposed to do when he or she is on stage. It really means dancing to the fullest expression, to your fullest capacity of your technique, of your emotion, of your passion. And as a dancer and a choreographer, for me, very few things inspire me more than being in the presence of someone who is performing at their top level, who's really dancing full out, fully expressing themselves, not holding back, and really just going for it. And it doesn't matter the style, as far as I'm concerned. It could be hip-hop, jazz, tap, modern, contemporary, Irish folk dancing, Bollywood. It doesn't matter. When I see an artist who's just really going for it and living in that moment and capturing that moment, and who has been able to blur the lines between his or her body, and the music and the choreography, and just, meld into this one beautiful spectacle, it moves me beyond words. And conversely, very few things irritate me more than to be in the presence of a dancer who I know has the real capacity to just move mountains with their movement, to watch them half step or mark or not really go for what it is that they're going for. And of course, there are reasons why that may happen in the real world, but it is disappointing when I have the potential to be in the presence of somebody who I know has this magnificent talent, and I don't get to witness it, and they're not making the most of it. When we talk about living full out in life, it sort of has that, it's sort of the same thing. Living full out in your life means that you are showing up in your living space, in your loving space, in your working space as the full expression of who you are meant to be. Living fully, laughing fully. You're singing the song that you were sent here to sing. You are dancing the dance that you were sent here to dance. You are speaking the truth that only you can speak. Living in a way that's authentic. The unadulterated, unfiltered, real you, experiencing and expressing and sharing joy, expressing real emotions, and really taking advantage of everything that life has to offer you. Living full out means living outside of the comfort of your comfort zone and really stepping into the adventures that life has to offer, and in the process, being an example for others of what it means to live and to magnify your own magnificence. And unfortunately, many of us don't live our lives with that sort of full out energy. For me, that was the case for a long time. Recently I had an opportunity to perform in a fundraiser for Origination Cultural Arts Center. We're raising money still for our new home, and my sister Shalomba convinced my sister Musa and I to reprise an act called The Supremes. We used to, when we were younger, like in our 20s or early 20s, we used to perform at at fundraisers for other dance companies to help them raise money. We would be the Supremes, and we would sing. We would sing a medley and sing all these different little songs, and we're not singers. We are not singers. You know, Toni Braxton and her sisters don't have to worry about us at all. But we used to get into it. We had our choreography, you know, we had our outfits, we had a lot of fun, and it was joyful. It brought joy. And as a result of doing some of those fundraisers, I actually got tapped to sing backup for somebody at a performance at the Strand Theater. I was also tapped to do background dancing for somebody in a music video. Their career never really took off, but I don't think that had anything to do with me. And at that time, I was also dancing in a professional dance company. And of course, I didn't have these visions of, you know, joining any of these world-renowned companies that are out there. I know what my limitations are. But I was in that company, and we performed, and we rehearsed, and I was living really fully as a dancer while working full-time. And so when my sister approached me initially about dancing, about singing in the talent show on the Conscious Cafe, it wasn't really a talent show, it was more like a cafe atmosphere. We had food and some nice acts. I said, no, I don't want to do that. I'm a life coach. I'm a strategic planner. You know, I'm a professional. I had spent so much time cultivating this image of being this, you know, serious professional person that people take seriously that I couldn't risk that by coming out and being the Supremes again. You know, and so, but she, you know, she wore me down and she convinced me, and I was fighting tooth and nail the whole time. I was kind of hoping it was going to get canceled. As a matter of fact, the week before the event, there was another, like the third flood in the center at the space, and I was kind of hoping that we would have to postpone it. But good old Shaumba found a way. She always makes a way out of no way, and we were able to have the event. And even up until right before we went on, before they called the Dibinga sisters, I was nervous. You know, it was one thing to do it back in my 20s, when I was young and carefree, and, you know, working as a dancer while I was also working full-time. And it was another thing, you know, several years back, we did our act again in the Bahamas, and there was a destination wedding, and we sang at a karaoke bar. We were having a good time. But here, you know, at Origination, in front of my peers, in front of some people that I coach, and in front of some of the young people that I teach, you know, and that was a bit much. But I did it. And they called our name, the Dibinga sisters. My heart just went boom. You know, I thought I was going to pass out. We got out. We sat down. The audience was just going, wow. We hadn't even done anything. They were just going, wow. You know, screaming, Karen. And we started singing, and then they really, you know, started going out. And we had a good time. And the next thing I knew, I had gone from being nervous to being one of the Supremes. I had my choreography was going. You know, we had full makeup. If you see my newsletter this month, you'll see that, you know, the picture of me with all the glitter and the glam. It was fun. We had a good time. As soon as it was over, I had you know, my sister, we jumped in the car. She dropped me at the train station because I had to get a car to come back, the train to come back to D.C. And it was a 10-hour train ride. It's usually very relaxing, but I was up pretty much that whole night because I was like, wow, that was fun. Why don't we do that more often? And I started to really think about, where did I lose it? Where did I lose that joy? Where did I lose that fun-loving side? And I started to really think, I got a little sad, I'm going to be honest, because I recognized that I allowed the sadness from broken relationships or relationships that didn't go the way I wanted them to go. I allowed the sadness from disappointment that happened, like in my professional life, in my personal life, and my professional life. Like, I allowed my frustration with some of the things that I see going on in the world. I allowed all of those things to dim my light. And while I had been rebuilding myself, because you all know this is healing for me as well. While I have been building myself back up, I neglected to cultivate that joy part. That part of me that used to just go out and just have a really good time. When I was living in Atlanta, I auditioned to be an Atlanta Falcons cheerleader. I knew they weren't going to take me because, you know, but I went to the audition. I was invited to the audition by one of the choreographers. I was like, they're not going to take me. He's like, so what? Come on, you're good. I want to see you, you know, come to this audition. I went to the audition. I made it past the first cut. Surprise, surprise. And I had a good time. I didn't really want to be a cheerleader. I knew they weren't going to take me, but I just liked being in the room. I liked being in that space. What happened to that girl? What happened to that person? And so since coming back from the talent show, I've been reevaluating, and I've been finding ways to bring more joy into my life, in my business and in my personal lives. I've been finding more ways to step out of my comfort zone because that's where I know that's where the magic happens. And that's where the magic can happen for you as well. The way that we bring more live full out energy into our lives is by stepping outside of our comfort zone, stepping away from that sort of routine that we create for ourselves, or we're living in a box and looking at life like an adventure. I said this several weeks ago. My friend Rita said that many people look at life as a series of problems to be solved. We invite more full-out energy into our lives if we can look at our lives as a series of adventures to be had. One way we do that is we step outside of our comfort zone. How else? We do that also by detaching ourselves from the expectations and the opinions of others. And I talk about this a lot. Living your life through somebody else's lens will cripple you. It invites suffering into your life, and it short-circuits your ability to be out in this world and really enjoy it. Now, I'm not saying that we're just going to, flip the bird at everybody and not care about people's feelings. But if we set an intention to do no harm, if we set an intention to only do good and to be our true, authentic self, right, and live at a high vibration, we can't really hurt other people by being who we are. But sometimes, I know it was true for myself, particularly around this whole Conscious Cafe talent show fundraiser thing, I was worried about what people were going to think about, Serious Muadi. And the response has been great so far. But even if the response from others didn't turn out to be so great, I had a good time. I had a shift that is now letting me see my life in a lot of, in new and exciting ways. And so when we detach ourselves from what we're worried about other people are going to think about us, it allows us to get out in this world and really live, to meet life, halfway, to meet the universe halfway and be out in this world. So those are two things that you can do to bring more full-out energy into your life. The first thing is to step outside of your comfort zone. Try something new. Try something new. You don't know how much time you have left on this earth. You might get called home tomorrow. Right? Why not squeeze as much joy and as much fun out of this life, this moment, this experience that you're having right now by trying something new? Don't eat the same thing. Now, I know my friend Tyrone is watching. He's going to say that, when I go to New York, there's one restaurant that I always go to. But I have to. They don't have Go-Bo restaurant anywhere else. That's just a side note. But I have been trying other things. So although I do go to that same restaurant every time I'm in New York, there are other things that I do when I go to New York as well. And I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone right now. I'm speaking. I've lined up some speaking engagements with some new groups that I've never been associated with. I'm spending more time having fun with my nieces, dancing in the living room and doing things like that. Children are wonderful spiritual teachers for us. All of my nephews and nieces, they have a good time when they're together. They laugh, they scream, they fight. They laugh, they scream, they fight. And I look at them and I see, I had that too. When I came into this world, that same exuberance, that same joy, that same joie de vivre that they have, I still have it too. But I have to exercise it, and I have to dig out from the disappointments and the sadness, etc., to get back to that space. So we step outside of our comfort zone. We detach ourselves from what we think others are going to think about us, and we make decisions to take some risks. We make the decision to be and to speak and to live our truth, okay? When you're not living full out and you're sort of just, half-stepping at work, you're half-stepping in your relationships, you don't invite anything positive into your life. Living full out, it brings more fun into your life. You attract more fun people, people who are more fun into your life. You attract opportunities because your eyes are open. You're putting yourself in spaces where you've never been before. That's where the magic happens. In that new space is when energetically you're bringing to you other people who also have that same frame of mind. Living full out also is good bum repellent, because I shouldn't use that word. I guess that's not very spiritual. But you know what I mean. There are people who are out in this world, the doomsayers, the Debbie Downers, the doubting Thomases, who poo-poo everything, who don't have a good outlook on anything. They don't want to be around people who are perpetually positive because it's just too taxing on them. And sometimes it makes them look at their lives a little bit, with a side eye. So when you are living full out, not only do you attract new opportunities, you attract new people, your eyes are open to opportunities and people that you might have been blind to before. People who have that sort of low consciousness and low energy, I'm going to stay in my comfort zone, I don't want to try anything new, I'm afraid of life, they're not going to want to be bothered with you. And that actually is a good thing, because then they can't shackle themselves to your feet and drag you down, right? So you will also be an example for people who might have an inkling that they want to do something different, but they feel like they need permission from something outside of themselves. When you are living full out and being that person who you were sent here to be, really singing the song that was meant for you to sing, dancing the dance that you were meant to dance, when you're living in that space, people around you get to benefit from witnessing you in your full magnificence. And that allows them, it gives them the opportunity, it gives them the permission to have that for themselves in their own lives, to sort of light that spark in their own lives. When I see children, when I see my children dancing and singing and having a good time, it really makes me look at myself and reminds myself, as I just said earlier, I have that too. How can I get that back, right? So when we live full out, it does a service to us because it raises our vibration energetically. It attracts people and opportunities to us that will support us in this new direction. It opens our eye, opens our third eye to opportunities and people that will also help us continue to move in this direction. And it sort of helps those people who are maybe not sharing this energy excuse themselves from your life. It's a win-win-win-win situation, all right? So how do you do it? What are some tangible things? What are some specific things that you can do to invite more full-out energy into your life? I have 3 things for you. 1, set an intention every day with an affirmation. Get up in front of your mirror, write it down in a journal, say it in your meditation, say it when you're riding the subway. Affirm, I will live full out. Just say it out loud and in your mind. Say it. 30 days. I promise you. Just saying that causes a shift. Try it right now. I will live full out. Did you do it? If you did do it and you did it sincerely, you should feel it move you a little bit. Do it every day. Say it 3 times every day for 30 days, and you'll start to feel a shift. Second thing you can do, find at least one activity every week that you can do that'll push you outside of your comfort zone. I've been doing it in my business. In the last couple of weeks, I've been reaching out to people about potential partnerships and potential work contract opportunities that I was kind of hesitant to do before for reasons we will not get into. I've reached out to some people in my personal life who I've sort of neglected and not turn my back on exactly, but I've sort of just shied away from them because of misunderstandings and things that I didn't think that we were sort of going on the same path. And turns out I was wrong, don't tell stories, and make up stories rather, and that worked out pretty well for me. And so I'm in it now. So every week I'm thinking, what can I do? I have something really, really big plans coming up, but I'm going to share that when I get the details a little bit more tied down. But my point is, trying something new every day, trying something new at least once a week will help shift your energy and get you more into that space where you're inviting an opportunity into your life that will allow you to live full out. The next thing you can do is don't be a buzzkill. When you see other people having a good time, don't shush them. I mean, if you're in the movies and people are talking at the top of their lungs and you can't hear your show, that's one thing. But, I have people around me who, when I was younger, used to shush me because I'm loud. I laugh loud. I sing loud. I'm just a loud person. And I got shushed quite a bit when I was a child. And that bothered me. And it also kind of shut me up a little bit, I think. And so now that I've rediscovered my voice, I'm also working on looking at how I engage with my nephews and nieces. They can get silly and get a little out of hand, as young people do, but I'm really cautioning myself. I'm really sort of policing myself not to say things like, don't be so silly, or you're being too loud, or I'm really trying to find a way to have a balance of encouraging them to just be themselves, but to also just, maintain some order. But don't be a buzzkill. I was at a concert one time, the person next to me, who was with me, she knows who she is, shushed me. And I was like, ugh. But I decided, you know what, I'm still going to be loud. I'm not disturbing anybody. Nobody else has said anything. She was concerned that maybe I was being too loud for the people next to me. They ended up singing too. But, I got shushed. Don't shush people. Don't shush them verbally, and don't shush them when they're trying to do something to push outside of what they normally do. If you can't support them, you got 2 eyelids. Close your eyes. Put a lock on it. Don't be a buzzkill. And the last thing you can do is watch your mouth. Watch your mouth in terms of what you say about yourself to yourself and what you say to other people about yourself. I was in the space of a woman the other day who watches this show. And when I asked her how she was doing, she said, well, I'm keeping my head above water. At which point I turned on my heels and I went in the other direction. I said, okay, I'm going to leave you alone. I personally, in my personal life, in my personal space, don't have a lot of energy or tolerance for people who are chronically speaking negativity into the world about themselves. Now, she doesn't do this on a chronic basis, since I don't think so, but I am very sensitive to having that kind of energy in my space. I don't look at the world through rose-colored glasses, but I do try to maintain an optimistic outlook, and I try to maintain this belief, which I believe down, I know that things always will work out in my favor. So people who have that kind of energy, you're not in my space. Same thing for you. If you're somebody who often uses negative language to talk about your life or to talk about your circumstances, knock it off, because it's not benefiting you at all. It's a buzzkill. It's a buzzkill. Okay? And what you do when you do that is you affirm the negative. You affirm that you won't have anything. You affirm whatever that negative spiel is that you put out as an affirmation every time you say that. So, to invite full out energy into your life, set your intention every day. Every day, I will live full out. Find at least one new activity that you can do at least once a week, maybe every day, but at least once a week, that will push you out of your comfort zone and cause you to draw on resources and skills and emotions and feelings that you don't generally draw on. The next thing you can do, don't be a buzzkill when you're in the presence of people who are doing their best to live full out. Leave them be. And if you can't leave them be, then you need to be gone, because it's not fair. And because they're doing their best. And if you can stop judging them, and if you can really look at them and see how they're living, it might inspire you to bring the best of who you are to another space. Last thing, watch your mouth. Watch what you say. Anything that comes out of your mouth can either be a curse or it can be an affirmation. I was rereading Miguel Ruiz's book, The Four Agreements, where he talks about the power of words. And if you read a lot of the spiritual teachers who I follow, they really talk about the power of words and the affirmations that come out of your mouth. You cannot invite full out energy into your life if you're speaking negative things about yourself to the world, to the universe. Even if you don't say them out loud, whatever happens in here shows up out there, okay? So that is it. That's it. That's my spiel for today. Living full out. What it means is coming into your living space, your loving space, and your working space as the full expression of who you are. Enjoying life, trying new things, and stepping outside of your comfort zone. There is comfort zone. There is joy to be had in this world. And it's nothing that you have to go out and find. It's something that you have to excavate from within, because you have it within you. The joy you came with it. Look at a child. We come into the world with it. The world dumbs us down and makes us forget it. Living full out means just pushing up against the boundaries that other people have put in your way, pushing up against the boundaries that you yourself might have put in your way, and making the decision that I'm going to step out of my comfort zone. I'm going to step into this world. I'm going to sing the song I was sent here to sing. I'm going to dance the dance I was sent here to dance. I'm going to tell the truth that I was sent here to tell by living the full expression of who I am. If you can bring that full out energy into your life, it'll be not only a tremendous gift to you, but to those who you love as well. So that is our show for today. That is my message for today. Live full out. Don't half step. Don't mark through your life. We don't know how long you're going to be here. Like I said earlier, you might get called home tomorrow. Okay? So while you're here, take advantage. Don't settle for good enough, right? Don't settle for good enough when excellence is an option in your life. Exercise the excellent options in your life. That's all I have to say for today. I hope you found today's message to be helpful to you. Hit me up, as the young people would say, and let me know if there's something that you would like to see me cover in a show, or if I can be of any service to you. In the meantime, I encourage you, again, never settle for less than what you deserve, and set an intention to bring the best of who you are everywhere you go. Have a great week. Take care, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.